So one of the things I did was move the fuel sender wire from right here where it goes on the 6-cylinder. I just plugged that hole and I put another hole right here and ran the wire from there. It gives me extra wire hanging out here, but the idea is that it's just too close to the dual exhaust over here. So that's just something that I did. Here you can see I actually made this neck myself. That's a piece of a 2¼ inch or 2⅛ inch exhaust pipe that I had them bend at the specific angle I needed for my car, and then just hooked it up using the original hose. Anyway, so the other thing this has, I don't know if you can see it there, there's a fitting right there that I soldered into the side of the pipe so that I could run my external vent. And so it comes out the side there, and you have to screw that in after you install the tube because the fitting, of course, won't go through the hole. Then just a length of hose hits the 5/16 vent tube that comes up and makes a loop like this and then goes down. I always thought this was up higher, but well, maybe it could be if I didn't have it bent the way I do. You know, I could bend it up higher. But it mounts here, and then it mounts here. That is an original Boss 302 vent tube that I got out of a wrecked Boss 302. Same car I got the leaf springs out of. They have a higher spring rate than the original ones, and I always liked the way it stiffened up and the stance that it gave the car. A little higher stance than the Boss 302 because this car is lighter than the 70 in the rear. But it also helps with the 22-gallon tank. Anyway, that's just a little bit of Betsy history. I'm still waiting for my weather strip for the deck lid, and I'll get to that as soon as it gets here. It may arrive today.
Indeed it did. So I'm just going to yard off the deck lid here. I've left the studs on the top bolts there so that I can just drop this deck lid on and off without it dropping down or being hard to handle. It makes it really easy. You just let the studs hit the holes and then put the other bolts in and you're done. Anyway, so yes, cleaning up the mounting surface and then cleaning the mold release agent off the weather strip, and now I am just taking it a section at a time, not stretching it whatsoever, and getting it glued down to the surface. It just really pays to take your time, let the glue flash off so that when you place it, it sticks, and then it's done. This is a Daniel Webster. Okay, this is a Daniel Carpenter gasket. Very flexible, so much better than the one I took off. Since 1987, I've been living with a gasket that was way too stiff and the deck lid never closed right. But this one is so soft and squishy. Fits really good. The C, it's formed in a C, and the split in the seal goes towards the inside. Okay, so I put the studs back in and make it real easy to drop that deck lid on there without dinging any of the corners or the paint or anything. And here it is all installed. It worked out really good. Okay, on to putting the weather strips on the doors as well. I am hell-bent to get this car watertight.
Hi, welcome to Don's Manufactory. Well, all the clips are in, windshield's in and sealed. So after I get done polishing the stainless, I can put the moldings on. And that would be the whole story if I wasn't being dishonest, which I am. The reality is I was putting the clips in and I broke the windshield. Well, just broke the windshield right there. Pushing that clip in. And just like that, it's out. Now I just got to get another one. There you go, $176.11 later.
I got the windshield here locally and stuck it in and sealed it up. And this time I put the glass in after the clips were in, so I didn't have to worry about pushing the clips in and breaking the windshield. Boy, I tell you, these new windshields, these replacement ones, I think this one comes from China or someplace like that. It weighs about, maybe just over half what the original windshields weigh. Really thin, even compared to the aftermarket replacement one that I was taking out. It wasn't even an OEM one. It was one I had put in back in 1980, I don't know, 5 or whatever it was. And then, of course, I broke it even more when I was getting it out because I didn't want to cut the weather strip to get it out. So I just pushed it out. It was already broken, so it didn't matter. So I lost, that was Friday. I broke the windshield, and Monday I got the new one and put it in. So, I lost a couple of days. I mean, really, it was only one day of progress, a setback, as it were. I didn't video any of that. I guess now I got to take the fenders off, put the splash shields on, and I got to, I got to put the radio antenna in, the electric antenna in. And all that has to be done before the fenders can go back on for the very last time. The paint continues to shrink, so I have not got back to doing any paint correction. I guess that's it. I have to get going. Oh, but before I can do anything, I have a friend coming over. His son found his 72 Mustang convertible. Found it somewhere in Michigan, bought it back, and shipped it out. And it is going to arrive here in about an hour and a half. I'm going to tune it up or whatever. I don't know what kind of shape it's going to be when it gets here. It runs, but it's not running great. I don't know what all I have to do to it. So it'll be kind of fun working on that and getting it going. And then I'll get back to Betsy after that. Okay, the car is due to get here at 1:30. It's 12:18. So another hour and 15 minutes, and I'll be working on a 72 Mustang convertible. Splash shields that go behind the headlights. I haven't done anything with those. They're not derusted, cleaned up, painted. I got to install these. I guess I'll just sort of kill an hour working on those, and away we go. Hi, welcome to Don's Manufactory. Water test day. Now I know a lot of you probably think that's crazy. Water test day. But hey, I live in Oregon, and this thing has to be watertight. So before I put all the trim on, the fenders and all the rest of it, I'm going to test it for water leaks. First round of water testing. I set it up like this, so I start low and then slowly raise the hose. That way I can keep track of where the water might be getting in. You know, the leak on the outside may be in a completely different place than the leak on the inside. Anyway, I did find some leaks. There you see me drying off the windshield. Now I'm adding some extra sealer, kind of paying attention to the clips and using a gloved finger to kind of smooth it out. Well, definitely had a little leak up here in the corner. This glass is not bent properly. Well, it's better than the last one I had. The glass is actually pulling the gasket up away from the pinch weld in this corner. So when you put the sealer in there, it tends to want to just run down, and it sort of runs away from sealing the pinch weld because the gasket isn't against the pinch weld. Anyway, so I just using the tape as a dam to hold it up in there, and then I've got a second application. The other thing I realized is that this aftermarket vent window does not pull up tight to the door along here. So a lot of water goes down through here, which ends up inside the car. So I have to seal that. I'll probably go ahead and seal the other side too. So I went ahead and just put one more bead of sealer across the whole thing. I don't normally like to do that because it makes the molding go in hard. But I went ahead and sealed it again because I had some leaks at the windshield. I've got water coming in around the bumper bolts and through the hole where the normal little chrome down things, whatever you call those, where that top bolt goes. So I have to seal that hole up, and obviously I got to put some kind of a grommet in that. But you can see how it doesn't line up perfectly. It's not sealed. I should have put sealer on the bumper, but I didn't want to do that. I think maybe I might just go get some rubber washers and put on the bumper, and then to put between the bracket and the body, and then tighten them up. Maybe they had rubber washers on them at one time, but I don't know. Anyway, so those are leaking, and that hole there. But the back glass and everything is perfectly dry, so that's not bad for the back end. So I actually let this water test, let the hose run on the wherever spot I moved it to for, 10-15 minutes. So yes, it's highly edited. You don't have to sit here and watch 45 minutes of water running on the windshield. But moving it around, double checking those corners, making sure that I got those sealed up. Everything looks really good. I'm just blasting it, and there's no water coming in anywhere. The one place where water always comes into the car is past the belt line felts around the windows. You can hear it tinkling in the background there. That's why it's really, really important to seal the vapor barrier to the surface of or the inside surface of the door. No water is supposed to get from inside the door onto the door panel and then run inside the car. So that's why there's sealer all over the place on the inside of that, because every one of those holes has to have a ring of sealer around it that the vapor barrier is stuck to. Now on this side, you'll notice you can really see the water coming in, and there's a little leak right up there at the top front corner of the door glass, that if you hit it with enough pressure at the right angle, it will come through. There's always leak like that. I was surprised the other side didn't, but that is the only leak. I may try to adjust it, I don't know. But you really can see how much water comes down inside these doors. It's amazing. It's no wonder they rust out. Okay, double checking the back now. Blasting that back glass, making sure no water gets into the trunk. Just really hitting it hard. Pretty impressed with it so far. The car is sealed up really well. It really makes a difference here in Oregon. They keep your windows defogged and everything, you know. There's no moisture getting inside the car that fogs up the windows and whatnot in the morning. So the only thing untested at this point is the wheel wells while driving in the rain. Okay, last check. Get out the flashlight and look around inside there to see if I see any water coming in around those bolts or the side markers, which I had forgotten to test before. Make sure no water gets around those if I blast them really hard. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.